Andrea talked about his humble day of graduation, looking for a job. So I'm going to perhaps not only reading my script here, maybe share with you my humble day of finding my first job. I came here in 1969, and I would say it was very humble. And I graduated from high school and arriving in Toronto area and looking for a job. But I had a problem here because my English skill is less than comfortable. I hardly speak a word of English. So I arrived here and I can't talk to people here. And I don't have any friend. I came here alone, by the way. And you may think that, look, you're Chinese origin and it's a Chinatown and you go to Chinatown and you speak to a lot of people. But at that time, those Chinese, they speak a different dialect, which I do not understand. So I really had a problem coming to Toronto, Canada. My problem is I cannot talk to people. So that's quite interesting to look for a job. But somehow, 2 months later, I landed a job. And that's in Equaco. At that time, 40-some years ago, it's only two occupations among the Chinese community. One is the laundry, the other one is restaurants. So I found a job working in a restaurant, and it's really a perfect job, for me. My job is quite simple. I work down the basement, and those people who like Chinese food, the egg roll, right? The egg roll, you need those plum sauce. And I was the little boy mixing the plum sauce powder so that you guys can enjoy it. And for those who do not like Chinese food, I'm sure you will like a hot dog. And having a hot dog, you need the master sauce. So I was that little boy mixing those master powders so that you can enjoy your hot dog. Now, it's really a perfect job. The reason it's a perfect job is I was working alone down the basement, that I do not have to talk to anybody. So that was my humble beginning. But something that's quite beautiful after perhaps 2 or 3 or 4 months, and after able to manage a bit of the skill of speaking English, I got a huge promotion. I was promoted from the basement to the ground floor. So that was my beginning. And after 30-some years, I was able to get to Markham and get this election and now become the member of the provincial parliament, representing the beautiful riding I call Markham Union. So, look, you can be very skilled or you can be not so skilled. Somehow you find a way up, and I'm proud that I find my way up. Thank you. I want to thank the co-chair today, and Frank for inviting me today. Yes, it was 7 years ago. I was here. It's always the 7-year itch or niche. That's the reason I'm come back here. I want to also thank all of you here today who are working so hard to help newcomers achieve success in Ontario. I remember speaking at your first summit 7 years ago. You had just agreed on a plan to help Ottawa employees hire more newcomers, and there was optimism in the room, and with good reasons. In the past 7 years, Hire Immigrants Ottawa has been responsible, as said before, for helping more than 1,600 newcomers find jobs in the city. And I want to congratulations. That's a good job, very good job. As I travel Ontario, I am amazed and impressed by 3 things. The first is how quickly local economies are changing. We used to know Windsor as the auto town, Hamilton as the steel town, and Ottawa as a government town, and Toronto, of course, as a hawk town, not Maple Leaf town. But Ontario's economy is in transition, and that fact is making for big changes in local economies, including right here in Ottawa. The second thing that impresses me is how successful local communities are rising to the challenge of meeting their labor force needs. Ottawa is a great example of people and organizations working together to keep this community strong. No longer just a government town indeed, but one with a sizable and growing army of knowledge workers, so essential to today's high-tech global economy. And the first thing that impresses me is that we all agree that immigrants are absolutely critical to Ontario's future. Immigration built this province and our economy, and it is more critical than ever to our economic prosperity. We need immigration. Over the next 10 years, there will be more than 2.5 million job openings in Ontario, the majority of which will be skilled positions. We are counting on immigration to help us fill these jobs. This is why we are implementing a long-term plan decided to make immigration work better for newcomers, for employers, and for Ontario. The goal of our immigration strategy is to raise Ontario's proportion of economic class immigrants to 70% from 50%. To do that, we need more control and say over who comes here, and we are working with the federal government to achieve that. The Ontario Immigration Act is moving through the legislature in Queen's Park. Should it pass, Ontario will be the only second province after Quebec to have its own immigration legislation. You may know that the federal government has increased our provincial nominee program allocation to 5,200 this year. It's going to be the key in building a skilled force in Ontario. But to the point of this conference, we also need to do a better job of integrating those skilled newcomers who are already with us. The underemployment of talented newcomers is costing our economy billions every year, according to the Conference Board of Canada. That's why our government is such a big supporter of bridge training programs. Since 2003, our bridge training projects have targeted more than 100 occupations to help about 50,000 highly skilled immigrants. I think we are long past the point that when hiring newcomers was considered a nice thing to do. These days, more and more Ontario employers are realizing that diversity makes sense on an economic basis alone. We know that when given the chance, newcomers shine. They arrive with more education than native-born Canadians, tend to be more entrepreneurial and innovative, and add a global advantage to today's workplace. And the last point is very important to growing Ontario's trade. When the Premier Catherine Wynne, reappointed me to the cabinet last June, she gave me the additional responsibility of the international trade portfolio. That's because immigration and international trade are a natural fit. People come here to start new lives, but they retain vital trade and business connections to their homeland. These ties can work to our advantage. We need employers who are engaged and comfortable with hiring immigrants and who spread best practices. We need immigrants who know how to navigate Ontario's labour market and make the most of the opportunities. And we need a government with the vision to meet Ontario's future labour market needs. In the end, every immigrant that gets hired is one more advertisement for Ontario's diversity and opportunity. Every immigrant that gets hired is also in a position to reach out and help employer get ahead. So this is a win-win all around. Congratulations on helping skilled immigrants achieve success in Ottawa. And thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to speak to you today.